Hi, I am one of the 1 to 8% of Americans that are diagnosed with complex PTSD. People that are diagnosed with complex PTSD have typically been through more than one traumatic event, whether it had been some kind of abuse in their childhood, some domestic violence, community violence, or something else that they felt like was traumatizing to them. The complex PTSD is recognized in the I-11, which is the International Classification of Diseases. I believe that we should all be able to talk about our mental health as natural as talking about anything else. I feel we should have open communication and be free to be able to talk without judgment. I feel that getting help should be the norm. In an article in the USA Today by Timothy Moore and Kara McGinley that I read online shared that over half of Americans, 55%, do not seek help for their mental health. Anxiety is the #1 mental health diagnosis in America. If over half are not getting help, what kind of quality of life are they living? So what does that mean for America? I wonder what would change if they did seek help. What would change if we were all there for them? As I spent the last 10 years working in mental health, I saw some good and I saw some bad, and I saw a lot of ugly. The ugly almost always boiled down to poor communication. Whether it was my clients didn't have family because of poor communication as a child, whether it been they weren't making good communication between their doctors or their lawyers or police officers, or whether it was where they were living and their guardians, poor communication leads down a lot of ugly roads. I feel like if we could just start talking and making that something we do every day, it could change lives. I guess because I've always worked in mental health and I'm diagnosed the way I am, I have always looked for quotes to hold on to. There was a quote online by Glenn Close, and she said, "What mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversation." Yes, yes, yes. Let's make it normal to talk about mental health. Let's get rid of the shame. Let's get rid of the negative stigma. We live in a world where suicide is still the #1 killer of teenagers. More than 48,000 people died by suicide in 2021, based on a chart by CDC. Something has got to change, and I truly believe that if we sought help for mental illness, it would. Based on the 2024 Forbes evaluation health article, 19.1 million adults in the US 19 to 54 years of age experience an anxiety disorder. With this, if we are not one of those people, then we do know someone that experiences an anxiety disorder or another mental illness. So what does that mean for us? It means that we need to listen. We need to be there for people. We need to understand a little bit more. My son did not graduate this year, next to his twin brother who did. His reasoning, it boiled down to his anxiety. He has such bad anxiety that he couldn't get up in the morning to go to school. But what hurt him was he didn't want to talk about it. He wouldn't get help, and medication was off the table. If I went to him, he would say, "It's fine, Mom. There's nothing to talk about." I would try to reason with him. Nothing. It was very sad. So please, always be a safe person for somebody. Be that individual that people want to come to. You don't have to talk. Just listen to them. Be a sounding board. And if this person is you and you experience anxiety or some other kind of mental illness, please speak up. Seek help. And if the first professional you reach out to that you don't like them, don't stop there. Get somebody else. I promise it'll make a difference. I had to go through a couple of people before I found a counselor that would listen to me. And I take medication now, and I find people that I know that will listen when my triggers are really riled up. And I'm doing remarkably well. And I know that we all could. I know America could be different if we just made mental health something that was the norm to talk about.